Well, good morning to our viewers of the Lakewood Ranch Business Alliance. I'm Dom DeMeo, President and CEO, and this morning we bring you another version of our Blitz. Thanks to Bank of America, our presenting sponsor for all 5 of our events this series. Bank of America is an annual sponsor, but also a presenting sponsor for our Sandies and our Blitz series. So thank you this morning to Alex Gault. Alex is with the Otto Group at Hightower Advisors. And thank you to our moderator, Brett Morris of Momentum Consulting. Both have spent considerable time preparing to help give you some information to carry your companies forward. A quick brief thank you to Nida Bittman-Neville and the Blitz subcommittee. As we bring this series forward, we're working towards building additional series. So please let us know what you would like to see, who you would like to see, and we'll continue to look for ways to present. So without further ado, the Lakewood Ranch Business Alliance and Bank of America bring you the Blitz Part 4. We hope you enjoy. Have a good day.
Good morning. Thank you, Dom. So Dom said I'm Brett Morris with Momentum Consulting, and I have the pleasure to talk with a Sandies winner today. That's Alex Gault with the Otto Group at Hightower Advisors. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning, Brett.
So this award is the Rising Star. It recognizes the young professional who's demonstrated the fundamental aspects of leadership, innovation, and excellence within their company and the community. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here. And also good morning, ranchers, by the way. As we crawl out of this frigid winter here in Southwest Florida, we're coming up on the anniversary, really, of the pandemic in earnest. And a year ago, despite all the rumors around the world, we had no idea what was going to happen. Now, and I look at the Lakewood Ranch Business Alliance tagline, the power of connection. Well, that was kind of unplugged for us. We didn't know this was coming, and we were asked to disconnect, stay at home. That was the safe thing to do. And all the traditional networking that we've, practiced and enjoyed for so long was kind of taken away, or at least limited. So, my question to you, Alex, is how have you been able to stay connected to your clients and prospective clients through this time?
Yeah, look, just by way of background, we're a boutique wealth management firm, and we have around 75 households that we work with, primarily high net worth families and business owners. And for that reason, connection is the way that we initially were drawn to those relationships, and connection is the reason that we keep those relationships. And so during COVID, during the pandemic, when that was disrupted, it was very important to us to kind of keep that connection. And so luckily we were ahead of the curve in terms of technology. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, right here I'm on my laptop in my home office, but also, bring this to our office in Sarasota. We have DocuSign fully set up, remote portals, secure email, document exchange. And, most importantly, our business is fueled by referrals. And so that's really the growth engine of our business. And so, I think as, we look at the situation and what happened last year, not only did we have a health crisis, but we also had a financial crisis. And for us being in the financial business and the money business, we kind of had 2 things to take care of, right? First, we had to make sure we were all healthy and everybody was staying safe, but also we had to, reach out to our clients, provide comfort that, everything was going to be okay. And the planning that we did for them, this is why we did it, right? This is the reason that we do what we do and the reason that we do the prep work that we do. And so one of the exercises we did, which actually turned out being a growth engine for us, which really wasn't the intention. Our intention was to take care of our clients. But we made a phone call to every single one of our clients. And it took about a week. It really was a great exercise that they appreciated. And we had some good conversations. We had some not so great conversations depending on the situation. But ultimately it allowed us to connect deeper with them and I think grow even more because of that exercise and our the way that we were set up as a business. So really, really grateful for that.
That's great. Yeah. So technology was on your side already. You guys were fairly on the cutting edge, but just good old fashioned getting on the phone and getting in touch with people. That was something.
That's right. Yeah.
They appreciated that.
Yeah. Good old faithful, right? phone.
Yeah, good. All right. Well, so I'm sure that produced something positive for your clients as well. What stands out as the biggest victory that you've had, and we'll say in the past 12 months?
Yeah. So first of all, we feel a large amount of gratitude to even sit here and have a victory. I think a lot of business owners, didn't get to have a victory because of what the pandemic did. So that's, first thing is first. But, I think that, when we look at holistically what the year looked like, the fact that we were still able to come together as a team and grow stronger, I think was the biggest victory in the way that I look at things. I think, when we saw the announcement that Florida was shutting down and the country was shutting down, and we basically packed up and moved all of our things to our home office, we weren't quite sure how it was going to work. I think we had all worked in one way or another, separately, remote. Some folks were in the office and some folks were at home, but never all at once. And so it really challenged our communication skills, I think, as a team and as advisors to our clients. But ultimately, I think it grew stronger because we really didn't skip a beat in terms of communication. So that's number one. And then number two, because of that gratitude we had for the great year that we were able to kind of pivot towards, given what went on, towards the end of the year, we actually had a philanthropic client of ours approach us, and he had an idea, him and his wife, to make the holidays brighter for many families in the Manatee and Sarasota area in 2020 during the holiday season. So with his help, and then also a matching donation from Children's World in Sarasota, we were actually able to distribute over 1,000 gifts and meals to underserved children's and families in the Manatee and Sarasota community area. So that was very humbling. And as I mentioned before, many times, we had a lot of gratitude that we were able to do that. And it's something I think we're going to start replicating and doing in future years. So yeah, well, that was probably the biggest victory.
That does sound like a great victory for everybody. And sounds like it would be something good for your brand, and how else, what else are you doing to build and maintain your brand? I'm not going to say there are a lot of wealth advisors out there, but I'm sure you have some competition. How do you stand out and how do you build that?
Yeah, so it's an ever-changing model. I think back in the day, or even, I say back in the day, but this was probably 14 months ago, seminars were the way that folks grew their business, outside of the golf course and traditional networking. But we've had to, switch that up a little bit. And so what we've started doing is 60 to 120 second videos, no longer, no shorter. It's kind of the sweet spot that we've found for keeping folks engaged and not putting them to sleep about financial topics. And so we've started developing some of those, and we've really started featuring really every member of our team. So not just myself or Matt Otto, our managing director. Everybody on our team is going to start being involved in those. And then also we're going to try to do similar to what the Alliance has done, and highlight some of our professional network partners in the area, and bring in subject matter experts, because at the end of the day, we don't know everything about everything. And so we're going to rely on our partners for that too. So that's one thing we've done that has really gained a lot of traction, and we're hoping will continue to help fuel our growth for the business.
How, one thing that is, things are probably coming back to normal for some of us, and maybe there's a little light at the end of the tunnel on this thing, but during the darker times, or the more unsettling, uncertain times, how did you guys keep your morale up?
Yeah, so you've probably heard me use the word "we" several times. So we have a team. It's a team of 5, and we're all very close. We work close together, and whether we like it or not, sometimes. I'm just kidding, but no, we work very closely together and well together. And so morale was important, and it was paramount to keep our team together and our business together. And so we kind of just had a system where we check in on each other, and we do it from a personal standpoint and a professional standpoint. And there's a couple different exercises we use to do that. Number one would be, once a month, sometimes twice a month, we would have a day of the week in which we would highlight, hey, what's one thing you're proud about professionally? What's going great in your professional life? And then secondarily, it'd be what are you happy about in your personal life? So professionally, it might be, I brought on a new client last week. It's a great family. Or, personally, it might be I went on a date with my wife and was able to, get a babysitter for the kids, right? Something like that. And so that really helped morale. And I think I've talked about communication several times. It strengthened our communication and openness amongst the team. And then a number two would be, every Monday we check in on each other, and, on a scale of 1 to 10, how stressed are you in terms of your workload? 10 being I have paper all over me I can't even see, and 1 being I'm sitting on a beach. And so that helped, I think, get a pulse as well on how everyone was feeling, and allowed other team members to chip in, whether or not it was in their swim lane per se or not. We all helped each other out and got through it. So
and that was virtual, the check-ins.
They were virtual, correct?
Yeah.
And we've continued it today, even though we're pretty much back in the office. We still do it, and have found it to be really productive and great. So
I think we're seeing a lot of things that we've started practicing during the pandemic that are going to continue, and then a lot of things that won't actually come back before this started. So it is an interesting shift. Okay, so how do you how many people are in the Hightower group, or in the Hightower, or in the
Otto? Yeah, our team, we have 5.
5.
4 of us are here in Sarasota, and then our managing director is in Vail, Colorado. So we've been playing the remote kind of system with him for a while now. Yeah.
And how do you 5 stay connected to the company's vision?
Yeah, so a lot of it's like what I've talked about previously. The other thing is we have a series of team meetings throughout the week, 2 to 3 team meetings in which everyone gets a voice, everyone gets a seat at the table to talk about what's important to them and what's going on in their lives. But secondarily, and probably more importantly, we just, we live it every day. We live our vision. It's not something that's, on some poster on the wall. It's really, part of what we do every day. And that's, financial wellness and meaningful work with meaningful people is what we like to say. And so, I think during COVID and the crisis last year, that couldn't have been more important. And so, the more we repeated that and the more that we lived it as a team, the more that our vision grew, and I think, really resonated with our clients, and then also ultimately, prospects.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and as I ask these questions, Alex, I realize there's going to be some overlap in your answers, and some of the questions are very similar, but this is more about how you educate yourself and keep that going, and leadership development within your group. What do y'all, what are some of the ways you encourage, or your company encourages that kind of development and continuous improvement?
Yeah, so being in finance, I'm a nerd. I can't speak for the rest of the team, but they're probably, a little bit of nerds too. Mm-hmm. And so we follow Ray Dalio. You might follow him as well. He's a very well-known hedge fund manager and also kind of a philosopher. Has written several books, but he talks about within his business an idea meritocracy, and that's where everybody, like I mentioned before, at the table has a voice, no matter what their role is, no matter what their expertise per se might be on a subject. They have a voice, and they can really come to the table with an opinion. And kind of like the scale of 1 to 10 that I mentioned before, this is kind of a believability weighting, and if their argument or their position on a subject has a high degree of believability, then we adopt that. If not, then we kind of move forward as a team to say, we might not. And so I think that exercise and that culture allows folks to kind of develop their own sense of leadership, and then also their, kind of make their own way and build their own path, and ultimately is a good thing for our business and our firm.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I'm hearing there were some things that are different, and some are things that, really didn't change much. Can you say more about that? Do you have any things that you noticed really didn't change at all as a result of the pandemic?
Yeah, we continue to stay connected with our clients and our team. I think even though we did in different mediums and different formats, we're still having some sort of face-to-face interactions. We're still talking about their goals and where they want to be in life, and what they want their legacy to be, and ultimately what their ultimate outcome is with their money. And so that didn't change. The vision and our mission as a firm never changed, even though we might have communicated in a different way, whether it be a Zoom or telephone or behind a piece of plexiglass. We still kept that moving along, and I think we're all really proud of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Well, since you and I have first met, there's been this whole GameStop thing, right? And And I know people. That's people laugh about it because I don't know. I'm sure it was some kind of anomaly, and so I'm not asking. I don't think I'm asking for some hot stock tips. But when you look forward to the rest of 2021, and how you're forecasting for the economy or your business and how your industry relates to that, is it something that looks expansive, or does it look more like a contracting kind of thing?
Yeah, no, we're very optimistic about the future of the wealth management business and the fiduciary advice business, and I think it's going to be expansive in a consolidated way, if that makes sense. And so, our team, for example, I mentioned we have 5 people, all of which I consider to be subject matter experts, and in their own individual way. And I think back many years ago, and even today, some firms operate more as one advisor, one person type of team. And I think that as we move along, and this is true for, I think, many industries, there's going to be probably fewer firms, but larger team-based practices and businesses in which we might have a CPA on our staff, or an attorney on our staff, or someone else that can bring value to the client, versus having it segmented in all these different areas. And so definitely expansive, but consolidative, and driven by, I think, mergers and acquisitions and things like that.
Okay, well, and more locally, in our community, so much about the Lakewood Ranch Business Alliance has to do with serving the community. Maybe being on a committee, which is a lot of the things that we can do, and lots of ways we can interact with the community. As the needs shifted, the community's needs shifted over the past 12 months. What changes are you and your group making to fulfill and serve those needs?
Yeah, so I think if there's one thing that we learned during the pandemic, it's hard to really narrow it down to one thing, but it's, there's clearly this social and also financial wealth gap in the area. And another thing that was highlighted was that, gratefully, the Sarasota and Manatee community areas are very philanthropic, and if there's one thing they can get done, it's really unite around a single cause. And I think an example of that I saw was in April. I think it was April or March of 2020, in the midst of the pandemic, in the heat of this craziness with tremendous amounts of uncertainty. One of the local community foundations, I think it was Sarasota, teamed up with local nonprofits. They raised around $19 million in 24 hours. And, to me, that's just incredible. I would have been blown away by like $2 million in 24 hours, but to see 19 million that's crazy. But I think, as our area is blessed with a tremendous amount of growth from, wherever it may be, the Northeast, California, Canada, I think we're going to continue to see more of that. And folks are just going to unite around, the area's mission, which is to grow and, be philanthropic and do good. We're really excited about that, but I think that becomes more and more important, even as our area becomes more diverse. We have to continue to unite and keep our philanthropic vision in mind. Yeah.
Well, it's impressive. It sounds like for such a small group, you guys cast a wide web, locally, and very involved with a lot, a lot what's going on. What else, so keeping on the optimistic train and staying positive, what else have you noticed as far as resilience in the business community, and what has stood out that has really impressed you? And feel free to too. You could take some credit for something you may have done as well, but.
Yeah, no, I think just the resilience overall is incredible to see. Our offices on Main Street in Sarasota, and even though businesses were shut down, I saw streets shut down and have tables, throughout for folks to eat safely with their families or whatever it may be. And, I think, in another sense, the real estate market has just been absolutely insane in a good way. And that, of course, as and being in business, drives the whole economy towards a more positive trajectory. And so I'm really positive, and I'm really impressed and happy to see the resilience and strength of businesses, not only within the Alliance, but just in our area and our state, and continue to be really optimistic about that. It's really great to see.
Yeah. Being in Florida, I've long wanted to see more outside dining on the road, and it's too bad it came to this to make it happen, but I hope that doesn't go away. I've enjoyed
this weather, right?
Yeah, you don't come to Florida to stay inside unless it is going to get hot soon. So we'll see. All right. So what else, are you optimistic about when maybe it's a silver lining thing coming out of this, or, your industry has so much to deal with the financial conversation out there. What are you optimistic about? What are you hearing that's positive?
Yeah, I'm really optimistic about the economic recovery and the virus and the numbers that we see, coming from given we're in the financial industry, obviously investments are related by what's going on in the economy. And in this particular situation, the health crisis is sort of driving the economy in terms of opening up. And so, the folks that we follow and that we really have take a high amount of trust in are saying that, we're on the right path. And I think we can see locally here and as well as nationally, the numbers are going down. And ultimately, that's going to continue to drive growth in our area and then also nationally and bolster the economy, and then also for businesses. So we're very positive about the economy moving into 2021 and 2022. We'll see what all this money printing does. But in the short term, we're really, really positive about what we're seeing out there.
Yeah, very good. Now, I want to throw one last curveball at you, Alex, and you didn't prepare for this, but I'm going to throw it at you anyway because I know you're good. What's the first thing you're going to do that's normal? Like what are you going to do whenever it comes back, whatever that means and looks like? What do you think? What are you jonesing for? What do you say? Oh, God, I can't wait till I get to do this. What is that?
Go to a concert. I had a Kenny Chesney concert booked May of last year. And we were going to go with a group of 10 friends up in Tampa, and it was canceled. So I hope to go to that concert and many more, and just have no worries and live freely. So I'm optimistic about that.
Yeah, I think we're all with you on that. I'm coming from Austin, Texas. I really miss live music. So yeah, I look forward to the same thing. Okay. Well, hey, anything else for you?
No, this is great. Thanks so much for your time and the Alliance for putting these together. I think this is a great way to highlight, local businesses and how great we are as a community. So I'm just have a lot of gratitude for able to be here, and same for you, I'm sure. So thanks so much.
Yeah, speaking for the Alliance, it's our pleasure, and great to get to know you this way. And I'll see you around.
Likewise. Thanks a lot.
Well, thanks again, Alex and Brett. We truly appreciate your time this morning, and we're looking forward to seeing you all in person again sometime in the near future. We have one remaining Blitz series coming up Tuesday, March 16th. Peggy Cronus and Devin Dash will close out our series of this session of the Blitz. A couple additional Lakewood Ranch Business Alliance events that are coming up as well. Tomorrow, March 3rd. We have a networking social at McGrath's Irish Ale House right here in Lakewood Ranch on Main Street. Wednesday, March 10th, we have a Leads Online, how to successfully network in today's world. Thursday, March 18th, we have an ACES event at Suncoast Blood Centers. Please come out and help see what you can do for our community. And on Wednesday, March 24th, our luncheon, What's in Store, a UTC update. So thank you again for our guests this morning and for Bank of America for being our presenting sponsor and for all that they do in our community to lift our growth and support. And I hope to see you all tomorrow night at McGrath's. Have a good day.